welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to review this Brewdog Nitro Choco Libre Mexican Hot Chocolate Stout. That's right, today we're taking a look at this from Brewdog. It is their Nitro range Choco Libre Mexican Hot Chocolate Stout. I don't want to read too much about it on the can before we get into it, but it's 8.2%, so it's kind of Imperial Stout vibes. It comes in a pretty lofty can. It's 402 ml, which isn't a pint, but it's not. That can looks a bit big for what is less than 440 ml. Maybe the nitro has something to do with it. I'll be honest, I've only ever had nitro beers on tap, never in a can, so let's find out. It made a lot of noise. And indeed, it's a little bit short-changing. If I was a better prepared reviewer, I would know why and what's going on, but I don't. So we'll leave the discovery of the size of this can and the lack of volume of beer for a moment. Let's find out what it smells like. Stouty, bitter cocoa. Not really getting a lot of chocolate on the nose, I'll be honest. No more than any regular stout. Oh, there's a tiny bit that's a bit more raw cocoa. It smells boozy. I mean, it's 8.2%, so it probably should, but let's take a sip and then we'll have a look at the can. Cheers. That's interesting. Not in a bad way either. I was a little hesitant because I know from the past that some of Brewdog's higher ABV, especially dark beers, I tend to fall into a lot of anticipation and then end up quite underwhelmed. This is pretty nice. The initial taste is a bit of that traditional stout, almost a bit Guinnessy with the metallic note, and then in the middle, I suppose where some of those cocoa bits come to life, but they're pretty subtle, I'll be honest. It's not massively chocolatey. And then the end is interesting because at the end of this, you get a bit of coffee-ish, but it's subtle, and a real warming in the back of the throat. I assume it's the alcohol, but it's not jarring, and I suspect that is the hot chocolate interpretation of it. It does feel like you're drinking something a bit warmer than you actually are. The body's fantastic, it stands up really well. It's nice, silky smooth, no carbonation really. I mean, actually you can see a bit on the glass, but it doesn't really transfer into the mouthfeel. Very small bubble carbonation, you don't really notice it. That's pretty decent, but a lot going on and also not a lot of individually strong taste notes. So, let's have a read. It says Brewdog Nitro, brewed in Ohio, Choco Libre Mexican Hot Chocolate Stout. Ohio's not in Mexico, but it's a damn sight closer than Scotland is, so closer than normal. Yeah, 402 ml, 8.2%. Says, wrestles taste to the canvas. I mean, it's tasty. I don't know about wrestles taste to the canvas. There is actually very little information on here about what it is. It comes in a big old can. Just for reference sake, this is one from Brew York that I'm going to review at some point in the next few days, and your eyes do not deceive you. This is a lot bigger. This is 440 ml. This is only 402. So I assume the nitro aspect of it is that nitrogen was packed into the can because it was quite gassy, and that is what takes up the extra space. Now, I don't know a great deal about it, so I'm going to do a bit of in-video research. Right. I've done a little bit of research, and I've committed the cardinal sin and actually looked at somebody else's review, hoping that they might have been able to shed a bit more light on the nitro situation. They didn't, so it would appear that information is not readily available, but we can assume, given the size of the can, the volume of beer, and the pretty gassy opening, that it's just filled with nitro. Don't know why, maybe it keeps it fresher, I would assume that's the case. It's coming from the US, even though it's Brewdog. In that review I was looking at, it said that the aroma notes were kind of cinnamony chocolate, churros and chocolate kind of thing, and I've got the horrible feeling that they're right, and I'm not very good at testing beer. There is a bit of spice in there, darker chocolate notes. It has now settled though, so maybe I should have waited a bit, but it's got the booziness on it though is overwhelming on the nose. I can see what they mean. It does have a bit of that kind of dark chocolate churro nostalgia bit, but really it's just alcohol prickling at your nostrils is what you really come away with. Sweetness is developing now, it's starting to settle a bit. I think it's entirely possible that this has so much going on with the alcohol burn to simulate kind of a hot chocolate with the churro-esque thing that's kind of there but not really. I think it's got so much going on, you actually struggle to discern a real individual taste from it. But that said, it's actually pretty damn good. If I saw this on tap, I'd definitely have a half. I'm kind of glad it only came in 400ml, despite being a huge can now, because, or 402ml, sorry, despite it being such a large can, because the alcohol is pretty potent. Not unenjoyable, it must be said, but simply a full pint of it may have been a bit much for, well, I've only just finished work on a Friday, and a more relaxed beer would probably have been relevant, but it's pretty cold outside and I fancied a stout or porter. But to be honest, all the stouts and porters I have at the minute are kind of 8% and higher, so yeah, that was going to happen. But a pleasant surprise for me, Brewdog have produced a dark beer that I don't hate, which hasn't happened for a while. This is a supermarket available purchase. I got it from Morrisons. It's one of the more expensive ones in there, as you can imagine. When I was looking at the review, it was quoting Morrisons £3.50. I'm not sure if I paid that or more like £4, but either way, you know, is that acceptable? Yeah, I think you just get away with that, especially given the alcohol volume. You're not going to want many of these, so yeah, reasonable value for money, I think. Well done, Brewdog. This is not absolutely awful, and I probably would recommend people at least sample it once just to see what I'm banging on about. The bit for me that really stands out is that alcohol burning in the throat that's almost simulating the hot chocolate going down, which is pretty nice. Nothing to write home about, but if you spot one in the supermarket, give it a go. And that's everything from me today. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.